Mandy here from Olio Design. Welcome to the show. We've another episode of Love Your Business. This is all about being bold in business, Mandy, and I thought you'd be a perfect candidate for today's session. So welcome.
Well, hi, Dower, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And thanks for saying yes. Being yes person is very important. So tell us a little bit about Olio Design, and you recently got back from overseas, right? So can you give us a bit of history?
I did. Well, last year we came back to New Zealand after we've been in Singapore for 25 years, which is a long time. And during that time up there, I was involved very much in interior design and working with people new into Singapore to work in their pieces. You know, if they've bought things from the country that they come from, perhaps they've come from the UK or from New Zealand, Australia, and to work some of those pieces into a tropical environment is different. I mean, it's a bit challenging. So pairing their pieces they had from home with some new and unique pieces from Singapore or around the region, just to get the right feel for living in the tropics, really. And I also became very passionate about this Eastern furniture and the craftsmanship and what goes into making a piece of furniture, and how, you know, very few in Asia. I mean, you do get southern China, there's a lot of things perhaps that are mass produced, but in general, they're real artisans, and the quality of the furniture and everything is just fantastic.
So you brought all that back to New Zealand?
Yeah, the plan was I wanted to have a business in New Zealand. I really wanted to bring this to New Zealand just to get that mix again, once again, of putting the East and West together, and it just makes room so much more interesting. And coming back here and opening Olio Design, it was a challenge. It was very much I'm coming into a space that is different to what I've been in for the last 25 years, but also New Zealand is somewhere that's, I mean, it's my home, and I really wanted to share it here.
So you're based in Cambridge, right? So the epicenter of New Zealand, sort of thing, in terms of art and people that appreciate things. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, Cambridge is a lot of family here. That was our call back to the Waikato, okay. Yeah. And we loved Cambridge. Yeah, Cambridge was pretty much when we decided to come back to the Waikato, we just loved the feel of Cambridge, and it's geographically, it's accessibility to everywhere, really. It's so quick to get to Auckland. It's good to get over to both coasts. It gives you a few options. Not that I ever get to sort of leave here terribly much, because I'm too busy being here.
So tell us, beside interior design, what other kind of passions drive you, Mandy?
Well,
or is it basically all that?
It probably at the moment it is all that, and family, of course. You know, I mean, we came back here for family. We've got 2 grown-up kids that are back here, and we have a daughter living in Sweden as well. But yeah, I think that if coming back to New Zealand and not having Olio to sink my teeth into would have been probably more challenging to be twiddling my thumbs really while I'm back here. So
that's really cool. So we have, like, say, you've been going, say, 3/4 a year, half a year, a bit more?
Well, a bit more than that, really. Well, we've been back just over a year, and we did set up a warehousing really for furniture for the first year or so, and just to get a feel with what people were wanting, and now we've moved into town, which was a big step.
Yeah, so that's the be bold step, right?
That was the be bold step, Dal, which you, of course, helped me with, because I don't think I could have done it without your help.
Oh, well, that's nice. But
Yeah.
can you just, this is why we're talking, what was it that made you comfortable with actually doing it?
I think realizing that, you know, we have a choice to make whether we want to live in fear of all the things we've worried about forever, or actually be bold and take that step out of our comfort zone. And the interesting thing for me was, it was something, for instance, video, that we've done a lot of video, and that's something I thought I would never do. You know, perhaps if 10 years younger and all that sort of thing, all of these reasons to not do it come up in front of you. But once you work through the process and realize that, you know, these to do this is so beneficial for you personally and for your business, to actually step out of your comfort zone and be bold and be brave, and it gets easier. It gets a lot easier. I mean, I probably wouldn't, you know, the first time I did the first video I ever did, I was encouraged by my kids, and of course it was certain encouragement from Love Your Business, and yeah, and it was scary, but in actual fact it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. And but the response just outweighed everything, because people seem to really like that personal touch, that human face.
Yeah.
And they don't care if you're not perfect, or they don't, people don't really necessarily even want perfect. They just want you to be real.
Yeah. So it comes across. So what happened to the distribution of that video? Did it take off, right?
It really took off. Yeah, it was amazing. We got so many hits and so many people watching it all the way through, and yeah, the reaction just was way beyond what I expected.
So that was a number of months before you made the move, got you comfortable with the sort of extra marketing and that type of thing. Did you now you've made the move, what has been the effect? I mean, you had something in mind for what might happen and what might be the break-even point, but what actually did happen? You've been there a couple of weeks now.
We've only been here a couple of weeks, and we've gone well beyond what we expected in this very, very short time. I mean, it's lockdown in Auckland at the moment, and it's the response from everybody out there, from the locals, from the public, has just been amazing, and they've really wanted something like Olio here in Cambridge. So, but the reach has been a bit more than that. I just feel like we're really getting sort of regionally, it's getting some momentum, and we're being talked about, which is really, really great. And the business is going, certainly at this stage, better than I hoped. And yeah, it's been really good.
And the interesting thing to me, and I was actually part of this little process, but the interesting thing for me is that you did this right in the middle of COVID, basically during COVID lockdown, right? You decided all of a sudden.
Well, that was the funny thing, when you're sort of like, when you're not working, and sometimes when you're just working in your business, you're not working on your business, as you know, and it's sort of like you're just in it and you're on the treadmill and you're just doing what you've always done. And with COVID, with the COVID lockdown, it gave time to sort of like, I'm not going to, I mean, everybody uses that word pivot, but not really like that. It was really more to sort of think about where I wanted to go with the business. And, you know, the encouragement from you, Dow, of what we want to do and where are we going. And I think we ended up finding some premises in town, which was also probably fortunate, because it's quite hard to get premises on the main street in Cambridge. And it was just the thought process happened, and I thought, well, maybe I'll see what's available. And I went online, this premises, I saw it immediately, and when I phoned the agent, it had only just come on the market like an hour beforehand. He'd put it online. So I think everything was pointing in that direction for me to actually make the move. And the fact that I was the first person to call about it was, yeah, I was fortunate, very fortunate.
That probably helped secure the place as well, correct?
Yeah, I think it did. I think it did, and they were really quite excited about having something like Olio in here. I mean, there was a real estate agent that had been in here for about 26 years, so it was a bit of a, definitely a bit of a change.
It's an interesting building for anybody who's going to visit.
It is an interesting building. It, you know, we've had to create an interesting space out of, you know, we've had to make a bit of a silk purse out of a sow's ears, so to speak, because it isn't, you know, I mean, it's not, certainly not perfect, but it's, we've tried to create something that is, you know, really welcoming. And we don't have a huge shop frontage, but we've managed to do things that draw people in. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you, Mandy. What do you feel now? Like, I mean, this is like you've done everything against the odds a little bit, right?
I suppose so. Yeah. It's yeah. Well, COVID.
You wouldn't have had a lot of time to sit back and think about it, but it's gone way past our expectations.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
And then you have to sort of get another reality check to try and figure out whether or not, you know, is that actually real, or can I now rely on it? Or
that's true, because, you know, I mean, whilst it's been great, and I think the sort of response from the customers and the people coming in has been so encouraging. And, you know, I've got such really, I'm getting such fantastic people in here, and I still can't quite, I still can't quite believe it's real. I still can't quite believe I'm downtown. And yeah, but it feels good. And, you know, I was told by a lot of retailers around here, I mean, we've probably started, well, it's COVID, so not a great time, but also the worst month of the year. Everybody says, according to statistics, and it's the worst month of the year. So I'm feeling encouraged, because I'm thinking, well, it can only get better. You know, I'm going to be always looking for it to be getting, you know, to improving. And
right now, yeah. So when we talk about the box and being comfortable in a certain thing, and then we move out there a little bit, right?
Yes, I know
you get these couple of great weeks, fantastic weeks. Does it? Do you now sort of quietly have a little think about what might be in a year or two's time from that?
Wow.
Just put it there. Just.
Well, I guess what I'd like is for us to be really known. And I can see that happening now for unique and unusual pieces. And because we do lots of one-off pieces, it's, you know, we want to be known for that. And lots of architectural pieces, and we bring in doors and slabs of timber and different things, but also we want to be a place where new artisans can come in as well. Like, we've got a guy that makes amazing lamps, and he's from the South Island. So it's all about having different things, unique things, and that's that is really our goal, and of course to always increase our business and increase the turnover, but definitely to be in a niche area, really. It's somewhere that's something that nobody else is doing, and offer great service as well. Yeah.
So in doing all that, you probably have to scale up some things, like, you know, import exports, you know, systems and processes would have to be adjusted as well. Would that be right?
That's correct. Yeah.
And You jump at the chance of doing that, I imagine.
No, I don't jump on the chance of doing those things. I mean, my I love being here. The whole systems and processes is always the challenge for me, but I'm getting better at it. And you have to. I mean, that's the thing. You need to be able to be on top of those things as well. And if you can't, then you find somebody good that can do those things. But at the moment, I'm feeling in control in that area, which is good. But as we grow, then we will look at how we grow. And the traveling that I would normally do, of course, I can't do at the moment.
So tell us a little bit about that. Give us a bit of an example of how that now has to be happening in terms of COVID and on the other side as well, right?
Well,
and how do you actually pick these unique pieces, from half a world away?
Well, I'm fortunate that I've got 3 guys up in Beijing who I've known for many, many years, and so they're 3 of them. One of them is a antique dealer. One makes furniture and makes our beautiful lacquered mirrors, and another one of them actually does a mix of everything. So they've sort of trusted, and I've known them a lot. They're great guys. They look after me. Problem is now is that we're overcoming the problem. It was that I couldn't go up there and choose the pieces personally. So now we are doing it remotely, as we all are learning to do a lot of things remotely. So it's really going around the warehouse with an iPhone, or sometimes upside down or around the wrong way, because they're not terribly IT savvy. But we get there in the end, and we do have a shipment arriving now at the end of this month. So I feel confident in the pieces too, because they're always, at 150% really. They're really great suppliers.
Well, thank you, Mandy, for this inspiration. It's been helpful, and I think for other people watching this, that they give them a bit of hope in terms of they're not all is lost with COVID.
No, that's right, and you've just got to be brave. You've just got to be bold and be brave, and it's surprising when you do decide to do that. It seems to open up a lot of doors.
Well, that's awesome. So thanks for those closing words, and I wish you all the best down there, and many more years of that. Okay.
Thanks, Dal.
Okay.
Thanks for having
Awesome.
me. Okay.
Cool.